perhaps, I don't know which side of the road to be on really. Maybe let's take this side. There wasn't any path there, so, but now there is. So and this will be, if I'm not much mistaken, Kings Langley station, which not all trains stop at this, but some do. So some of the ones which stop at Hemel, when I come out of London to Hemel Hempstead, you get the occasional one stopping at Kings Langley station, then at Apsley. So for local trains that's an important one. If you live in a place like this, the Flintstones is the name of that house. I suppose it's got some flints in the wall or something, yabba dabba doo. And if you live in a place like that, you've got an easy ride into London, because you've got 25 minutes to London from the station. But as I say, not every train will stop in it. Papava, that's a posh word for poppy, by the way. So the M25 is probably in Europe the biggest orbital road around a city. The third largest, or the third of the huge cities. I mean, cities, depending on where you cut them, it's difficult to actually measure exact population, because it depends where you put the boundary. But basically, there's a footpath that goes over a lot by the canal, which is going always this route as well. We're walking parallel to the canal and the gate. And that goes to Kings Langley. Kings Langley is on both sides. There's this bit of Kings Langley here where the station is, but there's also Kings Langley town centre is on the other side of the Gade Valley. So you've got almost like two Kings Langleys going along in ribbons next to each other on either side of a green area in the middle. That's the funny thing about Kings Langley. But Abbots Langley, which is behind and up there, which we didn't go to, which we walked closer to when we started, that refers to Nicholas Breakspear, the abbot in question, who comes from there. He became the only English pope. I can't remember what his name was, whether it was Pius or whatever. I can't remember exactly which of the popes he was. I used to know it. But he was a 13th century pope from England. So certainly when Charles II, much later, several hundred years later, was faffing around these regions, and Henry VIII as well, in between times, had been faffing around these regions quite a lot. He liked to come up here as well. He liked Anne Boleyn, and afterwards he'd amble back out again. Alright, come on then, KR, whatever your name is. It's taken me a while to do this, you're going to thank you. Nice polite people. And so Henry VIII, Charles II, these are all kings that have been around this area or like to come around this area, and it's Kings Langley. Which exact king they had in mind I'm not quite sure of, but certainly they've got a choice of kings that they could be referring to. In a minute I'll have another nice surprise for you on this walk. Something that you may have heard of around the world. Certainly in other parts of Britain you'll have heard of it, in Ireland you'll have heard of it. It's a monument to the past of the food and beverages industry. Maybe some people are already working out what it is around here that I'm going to show, but we haven't got there yet. But it's going to be quite interesting, I think, to see it when we get there finally, which is not quite yet. It won't be long though. I didn't actually look at the time when I started, but I think it was about quarter past 1 is usually the time we get out of eating. My parents are as regular as clockwork, you see, in their habits, eating and what have you habits. So you could almost set your watch by the time that my parents get up in the morning and go to bed at night. Unlike me entirely, I don't have 2 days the same, and if I do get 2 days the same, I find it strange. When I come here, I sometimes let their rhythm take over, and that can be strangely relaxing. And also, it's about losing weight. When I first came here, I think I started talking about this in the last film, and then I didn't take it anywhere because of something that came up and distracted me. But they have a scale which shows weight in stones and pounds, and it showed me at 21 stone. Yeah, unfortunately, and 13 pounds after I stopped at this. Came here from the Cyprus conference that you may or may not have seen footage of already. But I came here from the Cyprus conference direct, and I weighed 21 stone 13 pounds when I arrived. And this morning, well, I've been weighing myself every day. This morning it was already down to 21.7. It's been coming off either 1 or 2 pounds every day. So since Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday evening, now it's Saturday, the 7th, I've lost 6 pounds, which is not bad going. It's about, it's not quite 3, it's about 2.5 kilos. Just by these walks and watching my diet. But I can always seem to do that when I'm here. I have difficulty keeping it up when I go back home again. Maybe it's because I have days which are unlike each other. Maybe the whole trick of it is to fall into a rhythm, but it's so difficult for me to do that because it's just not in my psychology at all. To have a rhythm, get up at this time and follow the rhythm, go and eat ready brek for breakfast, not a big portion with a banana, have a small salad for lunch at lunchtime, don't leave it too late before you go and eat it, then eat when you get in, sometime like 6 or 7, although normally I wouldn't get in at that time, and then don't eat again before you go to sleep, and don't have too much at once, don't eat between meals, drink water, don't eat chocolate, don't eat sweet things, and spend 3 hours walking every day. And if I did that, there's no way that there's no other things going to happen if I adhered to that only, but I would go through that period of time. It looks like I'm not going to even be able to show you because my battery's letting me down here. I can see the red thing flashing. I'm not going to be able to show you what I wanted to show you, but there's no way, just rounding off, that if I adhered to that I'd do anything other than lose weight. It's a question of how do I actually manage to do it. Answers below in the comments section, please. I know how to lose weight. How do I actually manage to do it? How to actually motivate myself to keep going and doing it. I don't need hints on how to lose weight. I've lost probably more weight than most of you people watching this way. It's a question of keeping doing it. How to motivate myself to actually do what I know I should be doing. Any answers on that, please add them below. Answers on how to lose weight, I'm not really interested because I know the answer to that. When I set my mind to it, I lose weight very well, but it's just motivating to continue in that pattern. So will this last long enough for me to show you what I wanted to show you? I think, is it coming up now? Here, you see this whole factory? It's the Ovaltine building. Now the Ovaltine building is a listed building. This is good that I've actually managed to show you it. This is where the Ovaltine building is made. This is where Ovaltine was made. Ovaltine's a drink, a bedtime drink, a malted drink made up from powder. You make it with milk or warm water. According to taste, you can put sugar in it or not. And Ovaltine, look at this beautiful tree here with the red on and everything. Ovaltine is a British institution. I'm not sure whether it's also come in America, or if it came from America in the first place or whatever. Sometimes these things do. But Ovaltine was made here. And it's an old product, more than 100 years old, don't know exactly how old, and that's the factory that was made in. So even though afterwards they've redone the factory behind it and rebuilt all behind it, they were obliged, it's 22 degrees, they were obliged to keep the facade of the factory the way that it had always been. Well, I'm very happy that